We have NFL training camp going on.
Yep.
And there's a couple storylines that you wanted to go over.
Yeah. Obviously, the most recent storyline was New Orleans Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas signing a mega contract extension, 5 years, $100 million with $60 million $61 million of that guaranteed.
Must be nice.
To be a fly on the wall when Antonio Brown saw those numbers, I would be laughing my ass off.
My God.
Because now, the only other wide receiver who had more guaranteed dollars was Odell Beckham Jr. when he got a contract extension. I believe it was last season, and he got $65 million guaranteed. Who is now with Cleveland. So now as currently the top 5 most highest paid wide receivers are now Odell Beckham Jr., Michael Thomas, Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, and DeAndre Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
And Evans, Beckham, and now Thomas, they are by themselves making at least $50 million guaranteed. Also there was Brandon Cooks of the LA Rams. He got $50 million guaranteed. And DeAndre Hopkins, he got $49 million guaranteed. So a lot of cash is being thrown around here. And now with this definitely affects with the Dallas Cowboys and their contract negotiations with Amari Cooper, and eventually it's also going to affect the Steelers with Juju, whose his contract is up, I believe, after next season. So those are definitely are going to be setting up for those future deals there. So congratulations to Michael Thomas. He now ends his holdout. And I'm sure that's going to be making many Saints fans very, very happy.
Mm-hmm.
Many future fantasy owners very, very happy. So now the other 2 holdouts currently are Dallas Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott and LA Chargers running back Melvin Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
Now with these holdouts here, I'm not sure when either of these guys are going to be showing up into camp. Zeke seems very, very firm, and it looks to be getting pretty ugly there. I'm not exactly sure how well that both Steven and Jerry Jones are going to be receptive of this, because too they also need to also do contract extensions for both Amari Cooper and Dallas in the Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. So there's a lot of decisions to be made, and especially with Melvin Gordon, I don't see that ending well at all, just based off of the Chargers history. Going back to when Philip Rivers was a rookie. I believe he held out going into the season, if my memory serves me correct. Joey Bosa missed a lot of camp. I'm not sure if his holdout went into the season as a rookie, but this is definitely nothing new. And based off of the reports, there doesn't seem to be any sort of fucking motivation on the Chargers' part to even entertain contract negotiations. So So I personally feel that with like Melvin Gordon, he's overplayed his hand, and he's trying to play hardball with the absolute wrong people. So I mean, like, I'm always going to be siding with players and getting their cash and all, but I also feel too you need to be a little bit realistic too, because I believe for every day that both Zeke and Gordon do not show up, that they get fined, I believe, at least $250,000 per day. So
I think players they make a lot of money, and deservedly so. But I think it's just like in the NFL. It's like it's always the NFL players have to hold out for more money because the millions of dollars they're making is just not enough. It's like an ego problem.
Well, and also too, it's a collective bargaining issue too, because too, a lot of these NFL players see how much money that players in the NBA are currently making, and they're like,
NBA is another story,
but they're a completely different story, smaller roster sizes, and just a completely different pay structure, but they see how much revenue every single year that the NFL makes from their TV contracts and their sponsors and everything. I mean, I perfectly get it, but but it's definitely something that's going to be coming up with the collective bargaining negotiations. I definitely feel that absolutely one thing that for the player side, they need to get rid of that stupid franchise tag, like, because to me that does absolutely nothing for them. It gives so much leverage for the ownership, whereas I feel like if there was no franchise tag, there would be so much more leverage for the players, because then because then they could just walk. But I also feel if that does happen, that's going to be very interesting, because now I think you're going to be seeing things more similar with the NBA, as the guys are not going to re-sign as soon.
The NBA makes me mad, because it's just like the players are taking over and they're like making decisions like, yeah, you come play with me, you here, blah blah blah, and then I think the owners lost it. I think
absolutely. I mean, like,
it's almost getting to that, like in the NFL.
Yeah, and two, like, it's really affected competitive balance, because outside of probably this season, this is probably the first upcoming season where I don't know who's going to win the NBA title. Like, there are probably a good argument 5 to 6 really good teams, whereas in the past it was one, maybe 2 teams tops.
Yeah,
3
and
if you're lucky, but
like nobody. And I don't even want to say casual NBA fan, but casual, because I really don't watch it. Like, you only know a couple teams, like there's Utah Jazz. Nobody cares about the Utah Jazz.
On a like national landscape, yeah.
Yeah, there's no superstars there. Like, if you ask me, name somebody on the Jazz, I would be like, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I watch it more, but like,
it's too top heavy to NBA.
Oh yeah, it absolutely. But it's also very star. It's also very star driven too.
Right.
Whereas, like, because into with like basketball, it's such a vastly different sport from like football, where as like football, that is a team game. Like to me, it doesn't matter if you have 1 or 2 really great players. Like, you need those other 20 guys to be on the same page.
Yeah, I just think in NFL, for example, there's more stars around the league that people know, even in teams that are not doing well that particular season. There's still notable people. I think same thing with baseball. Same thing even with hockey to a certain extent. If you're into those sports, like hockey, I know it more because we have a team here, and we're fans of the Penguins.
Yep.
But people around the league of different teams, maybe not stars to the extent that the NBA has stars that, again, top heavy, but it's more well known. The NBA is just like player controlled.
Yep.
And like
they have all of the power, they have all of the leverage.
Free agency and trade, like it's almost more drama than
Absolutely.
it is. But in the same respect, that's what gets people interested.
That's why they are constantly. That's why they're constantly generating revenue and are the clear number 2, as far as a sport goes in the United States. It's really not even close right now. But I do not buy this at all. There's so many fans out there who think, the NBA is clearly better, or is clearly a better business right now than the NFL, which couldn't be any further from the truth. You just look at the Super Bowl's ratings and look at the NBA Finals ratings. The NFL kicks the NBA's ass, like look at just like regular season games. Like I recall when the Steelers faced the Cowboys was 2 or 3 seasons ago. It was CBS's highest rating in the years. Like, you don't have to agree with everything that is going on with the NFL and like how they handle player misconduct and everything. But like, that is by far in the clear number 1 sport in this country, and that's not going to be anytime soon. Just because every Sunday, from September till
February,
till pretty much February, people are watching football. It's tradition. I know
Sunday night game, Monday night game, even Thursday nights.
Exactly, and I know for me personally, my family are diehard Steeler fans. We just that is the way that it has always been, and that is not to say that the NBA is not a business model. It's just they are never are going to be able to close that gap. I mean, even with the heightened awareness of like CTE and concussions, it's such a popular sport. It's ingrained in into American society that it's going to be really hard to supersede them.
The NFL would have to just shut down completely. Absolutely. Somehow for the NBA to anybody to take it over.
There would have to be so many more scandals that would need to happen. Like it would take. The fact that this league is still going after the whole thing with the concussion lawsuits and everything, and how the NFL withhold information about football causing CTE and concussions, and they're still doing by far the best business that they've ever done. It's
People
not going
still watch.
Exactly. It's not going anywhere. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about are the Cleveland Browns right now. They're getting a whole ton of hype right now. I personally feel that we are jumping the gun a little bit with these guys just because Baker Mayfield is just a second-year quarterback, and they have a first-year head coach. But I am not discounting their talent.
I believe they have good talent. They got some talent in the last couple years.
Yep.
I think they could be in the mix.
Yep.
Maybe early on.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could just stay in there.
Yep.
They're going to be competitive. Usually against the Steelers, at least years ago, we would look at the schedule as Steeler fans and be like, okay, that should be 2 wins right there.
Yep.
And now not
Big
so
Ben,
much.
And Big Ben has owned them.
Yes, completely
owned them ever since he has been drafted.
He's lost 2.
Yeah, he's
in Ohio.
He has lost 2 games
overall.
Yeah, he's lost 2 games in Ohio since he has been drafted, which is one of the more incredible stats.
Mm-hmm.
But with Cleveland, they have a really good defense. They have playmakers everywhere with Odell Beckham Jr., with Jarvis Landry, with Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb.
There's names.
There is definitely names, but also the problem is there is only one football, and as we saw with the Steelers last year and in years past, that those are a lot of egos to try and a manager, and it got to the point where it was impossible to control that, and I have my doubts that a first year head coach and Freddie Kitchens can kind of deal with all of that. That I have to actually see that in order to be confident about.
How many wins do you think they get?
The
Browns.
I'm gonna say 9. I'm gonna say they go.
That's reasonable. I can't. Yeah.
I'm gonna say that they go 9-7. I am more interested to see how this team is going to react to any sort of adversity, like
injuries,
or you name it. If they go say 1-3 or 2-4, how are they going to react? Because just based off of Odell's past, he's a very unpredictable personality. He's a great football player, but man, there are times where he will just absolutely lose it under the most unique circumstances.
Mm-hmm. I think 9 is not out of the realm of possibility.
No. And 2, I think a lot of people are counting out the Steelers, and I don't know why. It's like with Tomlin and Big Ben are just no longer there, apparently, because
I think
last time I checked, Tomlin has not had a
losing record.
Losing record, and last I checked, Big Ben and the Steelers organization overall, they have. There is one thing they have always done. They have developed wide receivers and running backs. Look at Adam James Conner last year. Everyone was just saying, there is no way that they will replace Le'Veon, which is completely true. But he's still a very effective running back.
I never got the hate, or not even the hate, the negative about Connor playing he was not capable. I mean, at Pitt he was just tearing it up. I don't see why he can't do it with the Steelers, just because he's not a Le'Veon Bell being that patient
and who is,
Bell's that generational talent, just unique talent. But Connor did not do bad. He was doing, at least in the first half, if I remember correctly, some of his
hurt. If he didn't get hurt, because I believe he missed 3 games down the stretch, which I think if if he plays all 3 of those games, he probably has around 1,200 yards rushing, which would have been really good there.
And at points in the season, he was doing statistically better in most areas than Bell was at certain points, the same points in the season.
And another thing that cannot be discounted, that offensive line of the Steelers is still really good. Yes, he lost Marcus Gilbert, but he was out except for 4 games last year. So like, what are they really missing? Because too, he has been hurt constantly the last 3 and 4 and 5 seasons. He was always an injury risk. So and yes, they lost, in my opinion, by far her best her best coach in like Mike Munchak, who is now the offensive line coach over with the Denver Broncos. But like, that is still a really good group.
Yeah.
Future Hall of Famers in like Pouncey and David D. Castro. So I mean, barring injury, I mean, and yes, I'm probably a little bit biased here, but I think that the Steelers should still be the favorites in this division here.
If they're not the favorites, I think they're in the mix by far.
And
it's going to be, they're competitive. They're not out of it.
I think with the Steelers defense, with them getting Devin Bush in at the 10th pick was so huge, because now they finally have someone who can take Ryan Shazier's place. They have someone who is an insane athlete, who can cover tight ends, who can cover running backs. They completely lost that when Shazier went down with that devastating injury.
And the defense, to me, is still the bigger question.
Yep, absolutely.
This season, if they play well, I believe.
If this defense takes another step, they will be a great team this year. Because to me, if guys like T.J. Watt, Devin Bush, if you get anything out of Bud Dupree, and obviously you have guys such as like Joe Hayden, and Cam Hayward and Tuitt. The biggest question on this defense is definitely at their safeties. Like, that is the least confident I am with to be perfectly honest, with the whole entire team. It's just like they have gotten no consistent play out of that group. Quite frankly, since Paul Malu and Ryan Clark left. Like, it's been rough. Like, there's I mean, I can't tell you how many times there were just constant miscommunication issues. Just like simple things that just drove me
and everyone else
insane. Like, it was just the same mistakes every single week. Like I mean, like, and everyone wants to constantly pin that on Tomlin, but they also need to be holding some of these players accountable too. Like,
Tomlin doesn't miss those tackles or catches or
exactly.
I mean, you can.
I think
you can teach it all you want, but if you don't, maybe some coaches, if the communication, but again, players have to communicate and have to know the situation.
Yeah, and
maybe make the right defensive schemes. I mean, it's a whole thing. It can't just blame. It's easy to scapegoat the coach. And Tomlin has you can criticize Tomlin for different things too, but like everybody, sometimes he gets the unfair thing there. Sometimes he just gets. It's easy to blame the coach and not the players, even though we blame the players a lot. Real quick, do you think Steelers win the division?
I do. I'm gonna say that they go 11-5 this year.
Okay. I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna be different and say Baltimore wins the division, not by much, maybe a game. Steelers second,
I mean, like
Browns,
I can't really
Cincinnati.
put them Baltimore there just because of strictly of their quarterback play, like that. To me, in order for the Baltimore Ravens to truly be competitive, Lamar Jackson
yeah.
needs to take that like next step because his style of play, he's not going to even make it through
I don't know.
the whole season.
That's true. I just don't. I'm only saying that almost to be different, but the defense for the Steelers, I'm still unsure.
Yep.
Does Juju take the next step? The other wide receivers take the next step?
Which I
believe they could.
I think. Well, that is by far the one position on that team where I will not question those guys will get better. It's just for the past 10 years now, the Steelers have consistently scouted, drafted, and developed wide receivers.
And Roethlisberger gets better, not throw as much interceptions. But I still trust him to make those wide receivers look good.
Yep.
If he's on, he's on.
And with the Baltimore Ravens, yes, they signed Earl Thomas, but they also lost, I believe, 5 starters on their defense. So I'm interested to see how they're going to fill losing guys such as like C.J. Mosley, who signed a mega contract with the New York Jets. But it's all going to come down to their quarterback. If he
takes the next step.
If he does, then there's definitely is a chance. I just don't believe that is coming.
Regardless, I want the Steelers to win. I still think maybe it's going to be close. It's going to be competitive, like it always is between those two.
Oh yeah,
those two games are going to be.
They
are going to make a break.
Always toss-ups because you really never know.
Every year, anything can happen.
It's every single year.
Mm-hmm. What do we have next? The Raiders on Heart and Hearts.
That is must-see TV right there, man. You have Antonio Brown, you have Vontaze Burfict, you have Richie Incognito, and you have John Gruden, man. Like, if there's ever a reason to watch,
that's probably going to be the highest season rated
it's
season.
Going to be glorious. I've
never watched it. I might have to watch it now.
I mean, if there is one season for you to watch, it's definitely this season. Just so many egos in like, my God, HBO must be salivating at this because the absolute one team that has that many personalities. Like, the only other team that was probably a more perfect fit would probably be with the Cleveland Browns right now. And they were on it last season. So that was just, oh man, I cannot wait. That is just going to be such a entertaining watch.